Satellites are amazing things. I love watching them when we're camping in the clear skies and watching them go across the sky at high speeds. I know we can talk to some satellites on amateur radio, but here's a program that I think you'll like, whether you want to talk to them or not, that'll show you where they are and what frequencies they're on, and you can even listen to them too. Well, g'day. I'm going to show you something a little different today, and this is Skyroof. Now, I haven't used this program before, but Skyroof is a Windows application that looks for satellites. So let's see how well we go. There's some features there. Let's see how well we go downloading and installing this program. So I'm going to click on download at the top here, and we'll download the current version, which is a beta version, but we'll give that a go anyway. And that's run there, so let's run that. Run anyway. Okay, so we'll install it there. We won't create a desktop item, we'll just install it. So my understanding is this program will not only tell you which satellite is coming next, you can add a SDR that will listen to the satellite as it comes past. And then ask you, do you want to restart the computer? I'm not going to this time. Let's see if it works anyway. There it is, recently added, Skyroof. Okay, so I'm going to put in our call sign. I'm going to put in my grid square, which you can get from QIZ if you're not sure what that is, and altitude I'll just leave as 0. Now it's automatically downloading the satellite data according to where I am with my grid square reference. Okay, and there we go. There it is there, loaded. And here's the time along the bottom here, my local time. You can see that this satellite is the next one to pass me. Gives you an idea on the screen over here how close it's going to be. So you can see AO 91 is the one that's just passing overhead now, and 97, JO 97 is the one that's coming. So I'm going to plug in my SDR now and see if it recognizes it and see if we can actually receive anything. Let's have a look and see how easy this is. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is create satellite groups. So if we go to Tools, Satellites and Groups. So on the left panel, all satellites are known to Skyroof, and on the right panel shows the groups. So to create a group, all we have to do is hit plus, and you can see here we've got active ham satellites and we've got CW beacon satellites, but we can create our own if we want, and we can just add them in or out of this group. So one of the things we can do here is we can filter the list below, so we can include non-ham satellites or just ham satellites and what band we want them to be on. So some of these are future satellites, you can see they're grayed out, and all those ones are just the future ones, and we can just do an individual search for one if we wanted to here. So if we want to, we can change the layout of this screen here. We can actually bring it up here and put it where we want to. It might be out of the screen or somewhere different, or we can just put it in the lower half of the screen like that, or dock it right down the bottom. And then we can end up having tabs down the bottom. So you can see we can change all of these. The same with the side over here. Right, so we're plugged in our SDR device. Let's see if we can add it. So if we go to Tools, SDR device, and there we go, it's found it there already. So let's click OK there. And now we're receiving, well, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? So if I go back to this window here, and you can see here we can change some of the settings in here if we wanted to. So we can change the single gain here if we want to, for instance. There's quite a few settings here. If we wanted to change, we might have 2 tuners, for instance. You can also add a SDR that's on a remote computer. So here we go. We can see now I've got this satellite here selected. So what I can do is change to a previous satellite, and you can see this map here on the right updates. And you can see that that one isn't really going over us very far at all. It's a fair distance. This one is over us now. You can see next passing here. So that one's reasonably close. It's through the centre of Australia from where I am. This one here looks like it's not going to pass us very closely. And NET Sat for that one is on the horizon by the look of that. So the next one that will come will be in 2 minutes. And that's not going to pass us too closely. And then after that,
Satellite Mosaics 4 is rising in 2 minutes.
There we go. So it gives you a bit of a warning as to when the next satellite is coming.
Satellite NET Sat 4 is rising now. Satellite NET Sat 3 is rising in 2 minutes.
So there we go. So that one's rising. Now you notice when I change between satellites, it actually changes the frequency, the download link here. So you can see here that the download is 435.6, and that has changed up here, and that is the frequency that we're listening to. I've just put the sound down. That's all I'm picking up at the moment. I'm actually using a antenna that isn't very good, so probably won't pick up much at all. But I just wanted to have a look at the concept of how this works. So you can see here current satellites, they're below there, or we can see the satellites there in the group, which is the group up there. So I'll probably select the group there, I would think, and then you can see the satellites that are there. So here we go, group at ham status active, which is what we've chosen up there. So you can see along the bottom where how the signal strength might be, the timeline, and how strong some of these are going to be. So some of these later on are going to be quite strong. 16 up to 1640 by the look of it. It's going to be quite a few satellites coming across then, and it gives you an idea where it's going to be. So we're not
Satellite Cape 1 is rising in 2 minutes. Satellite Mosaics 4 is rising now.
So there we go, 04, that one there.
Satellite NET Sat 3 is rising now.
And it tells you where it is. It's between here, this is where I am, and this is where it is between us and New Zealand by the look of it, that one. If I go to this next one, it's right over New Zealand, that one. And we've still got these, so that one's quite far south of us. See, on the graph, we don't have a lot that are about to go over us. So it also does the algorithm for elevation. You can actually connect your rotator if you had one, and this will do that for you, which is pretty cool. So you can see Cape 1 is about to come on over the horizon. 23 seconds to go.
Satellite Cape 1 is rising now.
So let's have a look at Cape 1. So there it is there. So looking at the map, it's just below us. It's going to get reasonably close to us. So as you can see by the timeline, Cape 1 is actually reasonably high. We're not quite there yet. So while we're waiting for that to come, just some things that you might not see is down the bottom here we can say which sound card we want the sound to come out of, so we can change between any of those really quickly. Might be headphones or something that you might want it to change to, and I can output it, I can stream output it if I want to. So I'll just click on that and that turns it through to the stream, and I can transmit that through to whatever I want to. So all these are customizable. That's what this is here for. You can change it to dark mode or change the colors if you want to. And like I said before, you can change where you want to put them on the screen. You can unpin them or pin them, make them bigger. So let's follow this Cape one. It's getting closer to us now. As you can see, it's a bit closer to where I am. Okay, so I've plugged in a different antenna, which might work a little bit better, and you can see we're getting some lines here. So it gives you an idea of perhaps where there might be some sound. So I should be able to just click here. And unfortunately, that's all we're hearing there. So you don't have to go on the frequency for the satellite. You can change it to you know, so you can change the bar across the top here, and you can see the frequency here updates when you change it on the waterfall. But I'm going to go back to Cape 1. Not expecting to hear anything, but you never know. I'll turn the RF gain right up. So you can see we're still 9 minutes away for it to be at its closest point to us, but it's pretty close now. I'm not sure how active this satellite is. Ooh, there we go, getting something there, something small, crackly. Of course, it means someone has to actually be transmitting to it to hear it. It's in the zone now. Hopefully we can hear something. Looks like this next one here, Sat, that's going to be a good one too. Now I'm not using a dish on this, I'm just using a normal vertical antenna, which is obviously completely wrong. At very most I would have thought horizontal antenna would have been better, but that's just what I'm using. So you can see now there's only one satellite on the horizon, amateur radio satellite that is, and that's up here disappearing, and we're about to hear this next one, which looks like it's going to be quite a good
satellite degree sat is rising now.
So that one looks like it's just about to come across pretty well the same distance from my location, and that makes sense because the hump here is the same size on the timeline. Yeah, there it is there, the north, so it's just coming in across Australian waters there. You can see at the top here that it will be over us in just over 11 minutes. Just while we're waiting for that, there's quite a few settings under, if you go to Tools and Settings, there's quite a few settings here that you can change. One thing is the announcements that you've heard. I've got that at 50, but you've got plenty of options here to change if you want them to sound American or Australian. I might change to Australian.
Microsoft James.
Oh, he sounded a bit posh. I don't think that's Australian. There's quite a few different options here that might be of interest. This is your rotator control. So it actually will control, this software will control a rotator if you've got one plugged in, which is pretty awesome considering we're talking freeware here. So how cool is that? So here we're on this second satellite, Trigger Sat, and you can see it's only got the one download frequency. I'm not really expecting to hear anything, but I guess you don't know unless you try. If I wanted to chase satellites, as in talk to the satellites, then I might know, well, hey, these ones are the ones that are passing and they're going to be the strongest, so I might wait till them. I'm going to create a group, satellites and groups, and I'm going to create a new group. I'm pressing the plus there, and I'll just type in all. Okay, so we're talking all satellites now. So if I take the future ones off, highlight the first one, go to the last one, there they are, they're all there now. So I've selected ham and non-ham satellites. So if I change that to all,
Satellite SCI-SAT1 is rising in 2 minutes.
Okay, we've got all the satellites on now. This is it's taken a few seconds for it to calculate all this, and look, fair enough. It's
Satellite MQD2 is rising now.
Look at the screen here. We've got satellites all over the place, as you would expect. So there's quite a lot of satellites here. So while that was fun to see so many satellites there, I think I overloaded my computer a little bit. It was just going satellites rising, and it just gone bananas trying to calculate all the satellites that are rising and what they do and frequencies and all that sort of stuff. So there's actually a lot of stuff that's happening on this program. And I thought, look, I'll go back to this one. So here we are with our tallest satellite. So I can click the satellite there if I wanted to in the timeline. I can click it here, or I can click it on there or up here. There's many ways that you can get to this satellite. It's 4 minutes past us. Yes, it's 4 minutes.
Satellite Sat Owl 2 is rising in 2 minutes.
So this satellite that we got selected has just gone past us 4 minutes ago. As you can see, it's not as close. No, I didn't hear anything because I was still trying to get off all satellites for a little while. I certainly heard that. So you can see down the bottom here we've got TX-Cat, RX-Cat and Rotator. So you can actually click on them if you want to and turn them on if you have one. And you can connect to your radio.
Satellite Sat 1 is rising in 2 minutes.
So at the moment this has only been tested with the IC 9700. That's the only radio that's been tested on it. And we've got to remember this is written by amateur.
Satellite Sat Owl 2 is rising now.
But hopefully more come on board. And then you can use your radio to talk to the satellites via the software. So here we're listening to the download link. So the download is obviously from the satellite. That's what we will be receiving on if we want to hear anything. Hence you can see the waterfall is on 2 meters and not 70 centimeters, which is the upload for this satellite that we've got selected. So there's a few things that I haven't gone through. So here's the current satellite group, which we've selected at the top there. And you can see right down to you can see right down to the satellites that are coming. So a couple of things you can do on this screen here is, so this satellite here we're looking at, so I can right click that and satellite details, and I can get all the details about that satellite. The other thing is in this satellite transmitters box here, I've got two options here. I'm on satellite transmitters or I'm on satellite details. Now again, you can unpin these and put them somewhere else on the screen if you like, and that has the details there. You can also click on here, and what it will do, it'll pop open a website which will show you the image. Now for me it's just come up on a different page, so I'll bring it across. And that's the image that it opened. So that's what we're looking for in the sky, I guess. And you can go to this site here and it will give you the SatNogs on that satellite. So it's a German satellite, this one. And it's got a little bit of info there about it. Yeah, it looks like a flying suitcase, doesn't it, that one? That satellite, rather interesting actually. If you go into the SatNogs page, it's quite interesting there also. A lot of info here, so we can see the map of where it is. That's the same that's in the program. In fact, I think the program sources it from here. And you can see a lot more info here. You can look at all the satellites or just some of the satellites in this program as well. So a couple of little things before I finish up. Down the bottom here, satellite passes. I've shown you this. It gives you where the next satellites are passing. So it's a little bit similar to the top screen here, but there's a few more things you can see on here. You can see, say we've got, let's jump to this satellite here. And we just want to see that satellite and when that satellite passes again. So we can see, oh yeah, it'll be again
Satellite
in an hour.
APRS is rising in 2 minutes.
It'll be again in an hour and 27 minutes if you wanted to catch that same satellite again for some reason. Otherwise you might just want to see all the VHF and UHF ones. You can do that too. So on the waterfall here you can see the green ones here, the green arrows. The green arrows are the satellites that are currently above the horizon. The white ones are the ones that will be above your horizon within the next 5 minutes. And if there are any grey ones, they'll be satellites that are below your horizon and you probably won't receive them. Here's a grey one over here. But you might like this satellite here, so we're on this satellite here and you might like it. You can also right click and you can add it to a group straight away like that if you wanted to. You can see these ones are greyed out and that's because it's already in that group. If you had a transmitter connected, you could also select which transmitter you want to use to talk to that satellite. So I've just changed between these two satellites. I'm listening to this one now, so it's just coming across Northern Australia through Queensland. Alright. Something coming through there.
Satellite TechSat 1B is rising now.
Yeah, APRS, I reckon that was a bit of APRS. There we go, we're receiving something from the satellite. Let's have a look, see what else we can receive.
Satellite TENKOH is rising in 2 minutes.
So if you've got a wheel on your mouse, you can actually move the waterfall in and out, zoom in and out on there. There we go. Definitely getting APRS from it now.
Satellite Stars is rising now.
That's pretty cool. Wouldn't be better if I could decode it. That's the next stage, eh? So a couple little more things. Here's your RF gain and your AF gain. I've got set there. You can set up a manual offset if you wanted to.
Satellite TENKOH is rising now.
Well, we got some APRS from that satellite. That was pretty cool. At least we've got something. So what we can go here is we go, oh yeah, this satellite, he'll be back in an hour and a half. And then we might try to transmit to it, for instance. We know it works. Looks like it's similar arc there too. So as you can see, all the satellites that are on the horizon, on the map here, it shows you none of them are actually going over us. And that makes sense because that's what the timeline is showing also. So there's a couple of things you can do on the timeline. Again, with your wheel on your mouse, you can zoom in and out.
Satellite flying laptop is rising now.
Like that. Flying laptop. Okay, I didn't know that satellite. I'm not up with all the satellites. Now we've got to have a look at what flying laptop looks like. Let's have a look, shall we? There it is there. That's what flying laptop satellite looks like. Now where's that country? Who's put that up? It's a German one again. Flying laptop is a German satellite. There we go. There we go. We got something from that satellite there. Admittedly, it was only data.
Satellite SN8 is rising in 2 minutes.
So I know chasing satellites is a lot bigger in the US than it is here in Australia. So I would imagine it wouldn't take long at all to hear some voices with some of these satellites if you're in the US. What's in the grey in the timeline has already passed. I'm going to say addictive, but it's quite cool. You can zoom in on this map too with your wheel.
Satellite Honda Sat 1 is rising now.
So the voice prompt is a little bit annoying, but you can turn that down, I think. So it looks like we want this one here as our next biggest one, which is due in 4 minutes. Well, I might leave it at that. There we go. That's a great little program that I hadn't seen before. I don't think it's that old. It's version 1.9 that I'm using here, a beta version. But if you're slightly interested in satellites, this might be something for you that you might be interested in looking at. So hopefully that's been of some help to you. Don't forget to look at our website as well. There's plenty there as well. Yeah, I look forward to hearing you next time, maybe via a satellite, hey? Thanks for watching.